Hi, in this video I'm looking at converting these area units, so hectares, meters squared, kilometers squared and millimeters squared, to these area units, meters squared, kilometers squared, meters squared, meters squared. So to do this I need to think about how much of each of these is in each of these. Now the first one, part A, is a hectare. Now a hectare is 100 square meters squared. So it's 100 by 100 meters. So what we've got though is we're going from hectares to meters, and we go from a large unit. A hectare is quite large and a meter respectively is small, so we've got to multiply. If we were going the other way from meters squared to hectares, I would divide. So I've got to do 17.4 multiplied by this 100 squared. And 17.4 multiplied by 100 squared is 174,000. So 174,000 meters squared. Having a look at part B, we've got meters squared and kilometers. So I've got kilometers squared, I've got meters squared. Now 1 kilometer is worth 1,000 meters. They're squared, so I'm going to square them. So to go from kilometers to meters, just like above, if I'm going from big to small, a kilometer is big. I multiply. Going from meters to kilometers, I divide. So meters squared to kilometers squared, which is what I'm doing, meters squared to kilometers squared, so I'm going to do 20,000 divide by 1,000 squared. So that means that I'm going to have 0.02 kilometers. Part C is we're doing it the other way around. We're now going from kilometers squared to meters squared. I've worked it out here. Kilometers squared to meters squared is we're multiplying. So we're going to do the 0.081 and we're going to multiply by 1,000 squared. So that's going to give us 81,000 square meters. Lastly, part D is that we've got millimeters squared going to meters squared. So meters squared is huge. Millimeters squared, not so big. Now there are 1,000 millimeters in a meter, and then they're squared, so we square them. So if I was going from meters down to millimeters, I'd multiply, but we're actually doing millimeters up to meters squared, so I'm going to divide. So I'm going to do 19,645 divide by 1,000 squared, and that's going to give us 0.019 meters squared. And there we go, we're done. For most of the units, converting, say, meters to kilometers, kilometers to meters, millimeters to meters, meters to millimeters, we can even do things like centimeters and meters, which there are 100 centimeters. So if we're going squared, we square. We can also throw in millimeters in there. There are 10 millimeters in a centimeter, so we can square. If I'm going from big to small, I multiply. So big to small, I multiply. If I'm going from small to big, I divide. Small to big, I divide. And all the rest of them are the same. I just work out how many meters are in a kilometer, 1,000. I've got area, so it's squared, so I have 1,000 squared. How many millimeters in a centimeter? 10. I've got millimeters squared, centimeters squared, so I square it. The only tricky one is hectares, because it's a little bit different. You've just got to know that there are 100 square meters squares in a hectare.